Hello and welcome to the KT Life podcast, your window to life in the UAE. My name is Anamika Chatterjee and I am the editor of Weekend magazine. Eating disorders. Most of us mistake it for stress eating, but actually it's quite the opposite. My guest today is someone who uses neurolinguistic programming to address the issues of eating disorders among the young. Shaima Shaltoot, welcome to the KT Life podcast.
Hello, Anamika. Thanks for inviting me today.
This is the KT Life podcast by Khaleej Times.
Now, before we begin, I just need you to break down for our listeners what is neurolinguistic programming or NLP.
Yeah, neurolinguistic programming is a set of tools that help people, whether young or adults, to work on their subconscious mind to release all the negative emotions attached to old memories and to release all the limiting beliefs. We all have limiting beliefs, even if we consciously don't know what are they. So we work on the subconscious mind to release all the negative beliefs that we have. It helps with phobia, with anxiety, with social anxiety, with binge eating, with anorexia and bulimia. I had actually a client that she used to suffer from bulimia for years, and she went to several doctors and she went on antidepressant and nothing helped her. And when we worked on this case for like 7 sessions only, she's bulimia free now for 3 years. This Ramadan, she's bulimia free for 3 years. So actually, neurolinguistic programming, a lot of people do not know about it, but it's a very effective tool. And in like 7-8 sessions, you can get rid of a problem that you have been suffering from for years.
Wow, that's brilliant. Now we'll, of course, come to bulimia and eating disorders at length. But before that, I need you to tell me a little bit about what goes into coaching people in NLP, because you're also an NLP coach.
Yes, exactly. So you mean you want to know the process, how it works? Okay.
Yes.
So when the client comes, I have to understand what is the issue or the struggle that they're passing through. Sometimes you can say, I have social anxiety, right? But it's not social. It's not only social anxiety. There is a root cause of this problem. So we just name it as social anxiety. But when we keep digging deep, it's about low self-esteem. Okay, so sometimes we say, I have a depression, and it's not depression. You're just sad, or you're passing through a tough moment now, a tough phase in your life, and you just call yourself, I'm a depressed person. And you keep programming this idea in your mind, because whatever you say to yourself and you repeat it, it gets more engraved in your subconscious mind, and you start to believe it and you act accordingly. And then you start taking medication and stuff like that. So the process is, once the client is here, the first thing that I do, that I have to listen very carefully to each word they say. So sometimes they say a word that is very alarming for me, from my own experience. This word is very alarming. Sometimes someone can have a problem to express their emotions. I had a client that she couldn't express her emotions. And when she came, she told me, this is my main issue. But when we kept digging deep, the main issue is her relationship with her father. So imagine, sometimes we just think that we have this issue and we don't know the main issue that we have. Okay, you cannot express your emotions, but why? So when we dig deep, we reach the root cause of the problem, which is her relationship with her father. And once we treated the root cause of the problem, then now she can express her emotions. So this is how it works. We start with what the client says, and then we keep digging, and then we reach to the root cause of the problem. We treat the root cause, and then the symptom is gone. As if someone is having a headache every day, and he's saying, I'm having a headache, and taking painkillers. The root cause is not gone, right? Because he didn't investigate. So if he investigated and he had a tumor, painkiller will never heal the tumor, right? So it's the same, like the mental illness or the mental health is very important as physical. So when you're having or you're suffering from something mentally and emotionally, you have to dig deep and seek a help to understand what is the root cause of this problem. Not just take painkillers or just, okay, I'm feeling bad, so I'm going to chill out. I'm going out with my friends. I'm going to go for shopping. And I think that I'm solving the problem. So it's not solving the problem. It's just calming down the symptom, but the cause is still there. So NLP helps to understand the root cause of the problem and works on it so the symptom is gone.
Now, you mentioned bulimia.
Yeah.
Um, do you notice that a lot of youngsters, even in the UAE, suffer from eating disorders?
Yes.
You have you had any encounters with people? What do you observe? What is the root cause of bulimia?
Actually, with young people, especially with teenagers, they're having a lot of pressure now from social media, from magazines, from the ads that comes to you every day on Instagram about liposuction, about the diet plan, about all, like the surgeries they do, so you look like a Barbie. Okay. So all the young ladies, they want to look like a Barbie, actually, not only for their body, even for their face, right? And also, men are very exposed to the same idea. It's not only about women, because there is a myth that says that women are more exposed, or they can have this issue more than men,
Yeah.
but actually it's the same. And let's talk first about young
Gen Z.
Jay-Z, yes. So as I mentioned, with social media and like the concept of beauty and perfectionist, when you go back in ages, they used to admire the curvy woman, right? And in some cultures, when a man is going to marry a woman, they give her the, I don't know what is it in English, but we call it mahr in Arabic. So it's like the gift they provide to the woman in terms of money or gold, okay? So they weight the woman, okay? The more she weights, the more they give her gold, right?
The heavier side.
The heavier side, they give her
yeah.
more gold, okay? So this was a culture, right? And some of the artists used to draw the woman with curves and with stretch marks. And this was the beauty, okay? So beauty is always related to the culture and the generation, and also with business, because now they want to run more business with the surgeries and stuff. So it's becoming very violent now that everyone wants to go to do liposuction and stuff like that. So bullying actually is a great issue in schools and from parents sometimes. Sometimes kids, they suffer from bullying from their parents. Like a girl, she got a fat for a face. And her dad tells her, oh, you look so fat. You look so ugly. Her mom tells her, who's going to marry you? You're so fat. See the other girls, how they look like. You have to lose weight. So these words, it's the programming that we get programmed on. So whatever we say to our kids, they believe it 100%. You're their safety net. You are the one, as a parent, whom the kid trusts you the most. So whatever you say to them, they trust it 100%. So if my mom says I'm ugly or I'm fat, then definitely I'm ugly or fat. When my peers in school, they tell me, no, we don't want to be friends with you because it's shame. You're so fat. Then the girl starts to feel guilt. And also the boys, some boys suffer from that. When they keep teasing them, how can you play football? You're so fat. You're a teddy bear walking on the floor, So it's really painful. So this issue comes from a lot of aspects. Bullying, what they see on social media as well. The culture now is very encouraging the perfectionist or the perfect beauty, which is not natural. It's not natural. If a woman passed through pregnancy and labor and stuff like this, would you think that after she finished this phase, she's gonna be looking like a model? Of course she's not. And she has to accept this. And that's why also postnatal depression happens. Because she feels like, I don't look the same. My husband doesn't like my body now. And sometimes the husband starts to compare her with other women. See, she got pregnant, but her body is good. But you are still fat, It happens. So all of this, like what we hear, what we see in social media, what we see in the culture around us, it creates this problem. I'm not saying that, yes, let's stay fat, do not care about our body or health. No, care about your body, care about your health, but not just to impress people. Care about your body for yourself because you want to be healthy. If you have extra fat in any area of your body, work on it just to feel happy, to feel healthy, and to be able to run with your kids, to be able to do any work in your day. Because when you have too much fats and sugar in your body, you will feel lazy, you lack energy. It has a lot of other problems, right? You can be diabetes one day. But work on your body for yourself, not to impress the culture or anyone.
I need you to describe eating disorders in some detail.
Yeah.
Like, what exactly do youngsters do? when they have eating disorders?
So there are different kinds of eating disorders. We have the binge eating, we have bulimia, and we have anorexia. So they are different. They have different symptoms.
Because it's mostly mistaken for binge eating,
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is the difference between all three?
So, for example, bulimia, like what happened with
Princess Diana.
Princess Diana, exactly. So whenever she eats, or whoever has the bulimia, he feels guilty and he doesn't want to gain weight. And then he start to vomit. So he eats a lot, whatever he likes, whatever he loves. After eating, immediately they go to vomit. Okay? And I had a case
Which is self-induced.
Yeah, they just vomit so they get rid of what they ate. And I had a client like that who suffered from this for years and went to doctors and took antidepressant and nothing worked. And after 7 sessions of NLP, she's bulimia free now for 3 years. This Ramadan, she's bulimia free 3 years. And she threw all the medicines. She shoot a video and she threw all the medicines. Because as I mentioned, when you take a medicine, it just calms down the symptom, but it doesn't solve the root cause of the problem. So this is, for example, the bulimia. Anorexia is being very obsessed about the weight and very obsessed about the calories intake. So you have to measure everything that you're eating, being very obsessed about it like crazy. If you're supposed to eat like 2,000 calories and you eat 2,001, then it's a big issue. And they can go for pills and medicines that can help them lose weight more. Yeah. Binge eating is when you also get stressed about weight, okay? And binge eating, sometimes it happens when you start with stress eating. So stress eating, yes, it's not an eating disorder, but it leads to binge eating. It leads to anorexia. It leads to all of this. So when you start to have the stress eating, you have to be aware and conscious of this so you can stop that from the beginning before you go through the disorders.
So in all three cases, it is the relationship you have with food which is messy.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's what defines this. It also comes from a very deep place of self-loathing.
Yes.
And as you rightly pointed out, a lot of this takes root in childhood.
Yes.
But when we grow up, for example, we go out into the world. We also form our own perceptions. We also find our place in the world. But why does this self-loathing stay for so long, and why does it manifest in some cases years after, something a parent has said?
Yes. Because as I mentioned, excuse me, when you get programmed about a certain idea when you were a little kid, it's grieved in your subconscious mind. You cannot get rid out of it unless you're consciously aware of it. Sometimes we do actions in our lives.
Or you're therapized.
Exactly. So, but to go to a therapist, how would you do that if you're not consciously aware that you have a problem? So when you focus with yourself and focus with each action you do and each word you say, then you will say, yes, I need help. Like if you're talking to yourself always with shame and hatred, if you don't like your body, if I always say, I hate myself, I hate my body, I look so fat, I hate myself, then I have to be conscious that I'm saying this and why I'm saying that. So when I'm consciously aware of this, then I can be able to seek help. But if I don't see it a problem, I will not seek help, right? So being aware of what I'm saying to myself, the self-talk is really important, because when you talk to yourself, you believe everything that you say. So let's go back to childhood. Yes, when you're programmed about things since childhood, it affects you in your current life. But as I always say, childhood was not our own responsibility. Now it's our own responsibility. So once you're aware that you have an issue, then immediately work on it. Back then, it was not your responsibility, but now you're mature enough to take this responsibility. You don't have to live in your past. What happened has happened. And all the parents, they do their best with their own knowledge and abilities. So maybe these parents, they were programmed on the same thing. And that's why they projected this on their children. They have this model of the world that women must look perfect and thin and look like a model. Not everyone should be a model. If everyone is
Absolutely.
a model, who's gonna work something else than modeling, right? So they got programmed the same way and they project it on their kids. So you have to cut the cycle. So we don't project this on our children as well, because if you keep it inside yourself, then automatically you're going to project this on your children. So you have to cut the cycle, treat yourself, heal yourself, so you don't do this to the other generation.
So how do you visibly diagnose something like bulimia?
Yeah. So there are several symptoms that we can notice with someone who's suffering from eating disorder. For example, avoiding eating with friends or in social gatherings because they feel like they want to eat and then they want to vomit. So they will feel so shame. They will be ashamed of doing this. So they usually avoid eating with people. One of the symptoms as well that they hide food. You can notice that your daughter or your son or your brother, sister, anyone in your family is hiding food, getting a lot of chocolates and hiding it somewhere. So it's a red flag why they're hiding it. If I can see one of the family members or a friend or something that he's stopping eating for the whole day, for example, and it starts to show on their face, it's becoming yellowish and so on, this is a red flag as well. Because some of them, they stop eating for the whole day almost. They just eat some little fruits and drink water and so on, and they become anemic. So if I'm a parent and I can see this in my child, then it's a red flag and I have to investigate and see what is happening.
You also mentioned one of your clients is someone who's not eating anything right now.
Yeah, she's a teenager and she passed through bullying as well in school. And everyone was mentioning that she's fat and she has to look like that and so on. And then she decided to stop eating. And now she became anemic. And it's actually a disaster because she harmed herself, her health, just to impress her friends. So that's what we were talking about, that work on your body and on your health for yourself, not to impress anyone.
Which means food is also such a central aspect of or self-image, right? As I mentioned earlier, in all three cases, it is a relationship with food that is directly determining.
Anamika, there was a movie that I have watched a couple of days ago called Whale. And
yes, I remember.
It's amazing.
I remember.
The way that he got into this, it was because of a stress and because of the grief, exactly. So he went through this and he couldn't stop. And it affected his heart, it affected his whole life. It was miserable. So if he stopped this from the beginning, once he started, he was not going to be in this phase, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying, that whenever you feel that you're going through this path from the beginning, seek help. Do not wait until you're obese. Do not wait until you have heart disease. Do not wait until it's too late to help. It's too late to solve the problem, you know? So always start once you see that you have an issue.
You mentioned that men also go through this.
Definitely.
You know, but usually the idea is that, women, when it comes to their appearance, I mean, women and men both are subjected to judgments.
Yes.
But when it comes to eating disorders, more women have it than men. Is there some grain of truth to that?
No. Actually, even men, you go to the gym and see what's happening there. Taking extra supplements, going to the gym in a crazy way just to look like masculine and having 6 packs to impress ladies as well. So it's about self-confidence at the end. If you're confident enough and you're happy with your body, then you don't need to do all of this, right? And by the way, there is a trick that we use with NLP techniques that if you're going to the gym and you're not finding results, and you're going to and you're going on diet and you're not finding results, then there is something in your subconscious mind that is stopping you. Some people, they go to the gym every day, they go on diet, but they still don't lose weight because they feel inside that they're not gonna make it. They hate their body, and your body responds to that. If you hate your body, you look to yourself in the mirror, oh, I'm ugly. Look at my stomach, look at my arms, I'm so fat, I hate my body, I hate myself. Your body will respond to that. Okay, you hate me? Okay, I'm not going to do what you want. Simple as that. So, there are some simple techniques that we actually use when you are in the gym, for example, and you're on the treadmill or you're doing cardio. You listen to a certain track several times, okay? When you listen to that track for several times and you are on peak of your exercise, okay, and your metabolism is high at that moment. Then if you're sitting in your office working on your laptop and you listen to the same track, this will trigger your body to start burning fat. We call it an anchor. Your body's connecting or linking this song or this track with burning fats. So when you continuously do that, it actually helps. It's not like I'm saying that you sit all the time and do not exercise. No, exercise, because without exercising, your brain will not link this track, right? So exercise, listen to that track. When you're sitting and working, listen to the same track. Your body will act accordingly.
How do families typically handle disordered eating?
It depends on the family. So some parents, they put more pressure on their children. They start like fighting, not solving the problem. They start maybe punishing their kids for doing that. What you're doing is nasty. How come you're going and vomiting? You make me feel very ashamed in front of people. You left everyone and you went into the bathroom to vomit. You look ugly and so on. So this actually will not help at all. Definitely will not help. It will actually increase the problem. But when we as parents sit with our kids and talk to them and understand the problem and we help them and guide them, this is the right path. So the connection between parents and kids is very important. Building the trust between us and our children is really important. When you always say the truth to your children, they will always trust you. If we use lies, like some parents, they threaten their kids or lie to them. In our culture, for example, in Egypt, back in the old culture, they used to say, they tell stories to kids that threaten them and they make them scared to eat, to sleep, to do their homeworks, to do anything. Okay, so threatening and saying like some moms used to tell their daughter, if you eat tomatoes, your cheeks will be red and you'll look beautiful. Imagine. So when they grow up, they understand that their parents were actually lying and they were not saying the truth. So they do not believe anything they say. So building trust by saying the truth always and not lying to our kids will help us as parents to help our children in any struggle they pass through. Because they will listen to us, they will know that we're saying things and advices for their own good.
Do you think there is enough awareness in the UAE about eating disorders?
Actually, there is awareness with obesity when they even announced the initial. No one really has spoken about it too much, not only in Emirates, in a lot of countries, because not everyone speak about it and not everyone who's suffering from, they seek help. Some people they're suffering from, but secretly, no one knows about it. So still like in kind of awareness, we need to spread more awareness about that in schools, with parents, in hospitals. We can spread more awareness about this issue.
And also there is a very weird stigma associated with eating disorders. You know, you are seen as a freak if you are inducing vomit.
Yeah.
You know, so while it may be a cause of concern, do you see concerted efforts being made to remove the stigma?
So, I feel like accepting people the way they are is really important to help to remove the stigma or to help people not to go through this. Actually, when we accept people the way they are, if it's my child, if it's my friend, whoever, I accept them the way they are. They don't have to be perfect outside or inside. No one is perfect. So, and with plastic surgeries and the way it is very promoted on social media from well-known people like celebrities and so on, as you said, the youth or the teenagers, they watch social media a lot, right?
Yeah.
And you have mentioned before that they all look the same now, the way they dress up, the way they put makeup and so on.
Yeah, like I understand that while it is a sweeping statement also, but we do see young zillennials looking a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, flat stomachs are, If you don't have a flat stomach, it's a cause of worry. It's too much pressure to put on yourself, right?
Too much pressure, exactly. So when we spread awareness about that, when we accept people the way they are, when we show that beauty is not only about how you look, because by age, by the way, even if you're so beautiful, you're not going to be beautiful when you're 80, right? You will have scars. You will not look as beautiful as you used to. There was a quote that says, "Age is the death of beauty." Okay, so when you grow up, when you are old and you have wrinkles and you have the lines in your head, you will not look as beautiful as you were. But what will remain? Your spirit and your brain. If we work on this, on our spirit and on our brain, our knowledge, this is real beauty.
Yeah, and to just remind oneself that every line on your face has a story to tell of the journey you've been through in life.
Definitely.
So a message you would like to convey to someone who is dealing with an eating disorder, who's keeping it to himself or herself?
Actually, there is no shame about suffering from a certain issue, and you're not alone. A lot of people are suffering from the same issue. Don't keep it as a secret. Seek help and help yourself now, so you don't regret this in the future. When you do that, when you help yourself now, you will live your life in a better way, healthy way, and you'll be happy in your own body. But if you're gonna keep it as a secret and you're not gonna solve this problem now, you will regret that you didn't take the right step in the future.
Very well said, Shaima. Thank you so much for joining us. And it's, again, a very important reminder to everyone who's tuning in. Please seek help if you feel that your relationship with food is not quite normal. You're either overeating or undereating, or, if it's bulimia. Please seek help. And remember that beauty is here first. And with that, I'd like to wrap up. Thank you so much for joining us. And to all the listeners, please share your thoughts on this particular episode in the comments section of our social media pages. This is Anamika Chatterjee signing off.